Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rukal Kadash, double honors to the elders and apostles of great millstone, who have taught me this truth. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Rukal Kadash, Barakatham. So, what's happened is Esau is failing at everything he does, in the essence that people don't really see him as a threat anymore. In fact, if you hadn't caught the footage from Damascus, in particularly, the music was pumping, from the video, and you could see, though, that the Israeli state, their missiles were just shot down by the government, man. People ain't even fucking sweating it anymore. Israeli state says they're going to take out Iran, Iraq, Syria, if they have to, because, of course, Bashar al-Assad is going to accept help from his allies, which is Persia, which is also Russia. So, they're laughing at fucking these terrorist threats from the Israeli state, Amalek. They're laughing at Esau as, pretty much, you can see, though, that, when the last time the United States had attacked Syria, though Donald Trump said that the mission was a success, it was an utter failure. Most of the Tomahawk cruise missiles were shot out of the sky, and people were partying and rejoicing because they thwarted the attack. Bashar al-Assad returns right back to work like nothing happened. It was business as usual. It was actually a happy day in Damascus because that was on a Saturday. So what did they do? They did a market, They had their market fest. Hey, shalom, Mac. Pretty much, though, what's happening is they're not even afraid of what America or Israeli state is going to do to them. Esau is failing because he can't even protect his own land. You got the wildfires of California, which I live right in the midst of Redding, as they're wrapping up Delta Fire now, trying to figure out how they're going to clean up the car fire. And at the same time, demolishing the Sears building, which is just really retarded. It's like, okay, you already had the building, but now you're going to demolish the building because you say you're going to expand that mall. Well, you could have just used that structure there. But, Esau does many dumb things. But, it's just funny, though, because of the fact that all these countries are now standing up against the Edomite countries. They're getting the Edomites out of the country. Even Iraq wants the U.S. out of there, and are working with Russia to get them out of there. So that's why the insurgencies happened recently in Basra. In particularly, they blew up the building. It was a counseling building. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but either way, it was a building in Basra that pretty much they had taken it down, because it was of Shiite Muslim or Shiite influence, Iran, Persia. So, they're drawing all these countries are drawing near because they're taking a proverb against the Edomites. So I'm just going to read out of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 28, because we know these nations, now WWE is doing events in Saudi Arabia quite often, so we know that, Saudi Arabia is going to be the home base of, the military. So they'll be over there while things will be popping off over here. Martial law and all that, but they ain't going to have enough officers. Chaos is just going to be rampant. So verse 28, 2nd Ezra chapter 15. What a terrifying sight appearing from the east. The nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and from the day that they set out, their hissing shall spread over the earth, so that all who fear them will fear and tremble. And here it is. And, we know that Saudi Arabia was used when they went against Iraq, which they're going to try to do the same thing in Syria because it's just not enough. Idlib is about to fall. Those terrorist groups are about to be run out. So they're going to have to send in the U.S. military because they don't have enough stronghold on the eastern side of Syria because Turkey is no longer allied with the United States anymore. They are looking to protect their assets, but they want nothing from the United States. Erdogan is finished with the United States, and it's because their backup of a backup plan, the same plan they used in Iraq by arming the YPG forces. Turkey wasn't going with that. So you got all these nations together actually happening, bringing this forth. Also the Caramanians, raging in wrath, shall go forth like wild boars from the forest with great power, and they shall come and engage them in battle. And with their tusks they shall devastate a portion of the land of the Assyrians with their teeth. And that's just talking about this battle here. And like I said before, if they're going to protect the terrorist assets, they're going to have to go in groundly and actually invade Syria. And this is where I believe this is talked about. And then the dragons, remembering their origin, shall become still stronger, and if they combine in great power and turn to pursue them, then these shall be disorganized and silenced by their power, and shall turn and flee. Again, how many times have they tried this? ISIS was the biggest part of it, and you can see that that's pretty much wiped out because they said, let's just combine all the terrorist groups and just call it ISIS instead of calling it Al Qaeda or Al Nusra Front. Let's just combine all the forces together. And Saudi Arabia was the main place that they were coming from, as well as Qatar and pretty much the whole peninsula. And from the land of the Assyrians are an enemy to ambush shall attack them and destroy one of them, and fear and trembling shall come upon their army, and indecision upon their king. So pretty much this is leading to the fact that all these nations are breaking off from America because they were promised things, especially Turkey now, had broken off from America a couple of years ago. The last thing they did for America was shooting down the Russian jet, and, pretty much Putin got in there anyways, was able to make deals with them even after that. They expected him to act irrationally, hoping to draw them in, but what had happened is he got a game plan set up with them. So Turkey was very good at playing both sides, as you know, as Gomer. See the clouds from the east and from the north to the south. Their appearance is exceedingly threatening, full of wrath and storm. They shall clash against one another, and shall pour out a heavy tempest on the earth. Well, what's that talking about? Well, the words devastation and other things in there. That this big tempest that this is talking about, well, you get into our very name, Great Millstone. What's that talking about? That's talking about the destruction that's coming to Babylon the Great. So pretty much, all these countries, you can see them breaking apart now, just on the Syria, just Syria alone. Yeah, the ICBM missiles, And what's very interesting, though, is that, a lot of countries that you didn't think had them, they have them. Smaller countries such as Pakistan. Everybody knows that North Korea has them, but the media likes to tell you, oh, well, their rockets ain't strong enough to reach American shores. They boast about their confidence. Well, that's kind of funny, though, because of the fact that, no, these ICBMs will make their mark. What's happening, though, is, they're testing the smaller ones. Those longer range ones, they are quite capable of reaching their target because, what's funny about these scriptures, you go back, it talks about the archers. And, what did an archery attack do? When you talk about battles, the arrows, most often, they would wipe out an entire army. Well, now you just add ICBM nuclear missiles. So just like what as the bow attack, if you play in strategy games, that the archer attacks are very deadly because the only thing you can really hold up is a shield. Well, what's going to shield you from nuclear missiles when it just totally wipes everything out in sight? And these are meant to make their target. And that heavy storm clouds shall be stirred up from the south and from the north, and another part from the west. But the winds from the east shall prevail over the cloud that was raised in wrath, and shall dispel it, and the tempest that was to cause destruction by the east wind shall be driven violently towards the south and west, great and mighty clouds full of wrath and tempest. And of course, this is talking about once the target is made. And we're just seconds away from the 200 million nuclear missiles being shot up. And we know that the mark of the beast is about to come. And we're seeing it because, it's in all kinds of movies. More and more you're seeing the RFID technology in the movies. And the Real ID Act, is out there. But pretty much, though, that's all conditioning, that you're going to be tracked everywhere you go. And we can see, though, that, this Real ID Act, that if you get the federal non-compliant, you can't even get into certain buildings, certain streets, because they're going to have roadblocks. So you have to have that real ID. Well, that's going to eventually be replaced by the RFID implant. So, these places will be off limits. And pretty much a lot of people here, in Reading especially, the car fire people, they're getting relocated by signing up for FEMA because it's going to take a long time to rebuild structures. They're even talking about rebuilding structures today. But pretty much a lot of them, man, it's going to take a long time to rebuild the homes. So they're going to sign up for FEMA to get compensation and to actually get to housing, which that's in Sacramento. And that's a well-known gated community, which is totally run by FEMA, a.k.a. a FEMA camp, Let's see, where was I? Fire and hail and flying swords, so the key word flying swords, with floods of water, so that all the fields, all the streams shall be lifted with the abundance of those waters. They shall destroy cities and walls, mountains and hills, trees of the forest, and grass of the meadows, and their grain. They shall go on steadily to Babylon and blot it out. So to be blotted out means to totally be annihilated. And this day is going to come as a thief in the night, pretty much. Everything's leading to that very last hour. Chaos is getting more and more, just the slightest mention that you're going to see heavy rainfall. People are looting the stores, just panicking. And again, once this martial law takes place, which is going to be in way of other events that are controlled, false flags or storms, because they were chipping people during Hurricane Katrina. And even during Hurricane Harvey last year, there was news footage well, why didn't you go to the shelters? Because they're killing people in the shelters. As a part of the news segment that they took out, but yet it was put on YouTube. And I think most of us had seen that. They should go on steadily to Babylon and blot it out. They shall come to it and surround it. They shall pour out on it the tempest and all its fury. From the dust of smoke shall they reach the sky, and all who are around it shall mourn for it. And those who survive shall serve those who have destroyed it. Well, who's going to destroy it ultimately? That's going to be the power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai and the angels, which are the elect that go up in them chariots as we judge this place, man. They're going to be made to serve us. And pretty much, the idea right now is to repent while we're still out there teaching, because, again, we ain't going to be out there once all this bigger stuff starts taking place. But, in the meantime, we still got our camps very strong in Hawaii. Kilauea volcano went off way earlier this year, and we're still out there teaching. That camp is very strong. And we have camps in North Carolina and South Carolina that are very strong. Of course, we know what to do. And Houston still remained, even after Hurricane Harvey. So our camps are going to remain strong. But, like everything else, this is the time of mercy. But eventually this door will be shut. The 2/3 are going to look for us. So, the elect of us that are, this truth is resonating with us. It's time now, to go out and teach while we still have this, because, the place I went to, San Francisco, and they've been messing with their channels. GMS SF discussion was taken down, so another channel went up in its place because we're smart like that. But also the camp channel was also taken down, and that was just about a month or two ago. So eventually, we won't be able to redo channels, but for right now, it's coming. This famine of the word is coming. And the fact that they're now taking down government channels, such as the Syrian government channels being taken down, to where if you're trying to catch the news from Syria about what's going on with Idlib and all that, you're now finding the propaganda from the terrorist groups, saying that, we're oppressed and all that, and they make the media look good, because that's Esau's main deception is the media. Now that the Syrian government channels are down, now they're just pretty much, controlling that narrative to make everybody believe that these people are being oppressed by the Assad government. It was a nice try, but you still got Press TV, you still got RT, and you got others out there that will show you the real truth. But that won't be around much longer now that they're taking down pro-government channels of anybody else. Yeah, especially, Alex Jones, the info warriors, over here. Yeah, eventually they'll come after Chris Green, but for some reason they're keeping him up. But that's because of the fact that, did you see Chris Green or AMTV actually do a video on this whole Damascus shooting down the Israeli missiles? I thought that Chad Brooksam would have gotten on that, but nah. I think that that Chris Green's too busy with his Maserati, that he brags about. Their motives behind that was just, to sell you on the Bitcoin, and but there are others out there that are still, as you would call, whistleblowers that still bring truth. But the fact is, though, is that, you could tell who the sellouts are versus. But Alex Jones was a controlled opposition, but I think that the big thing why they targeted him so much is because of that video that went out a few months ago. God damn it, fucking son of a bitch, that motherfucker, fuck Trump. I think it was because of that, and that actually got a lot of people's attention, which that part wasn't even supposed to be recorded, but anybody who's watching his live streams caught it, because of the fact that Syria was attacked by Donald Trump, and I think more than anything else is because he spoke against the war in Syria. The fact that he talks to the Syrian girl, because the next thing after Alex Jones were the Syrian government channels, and that's just it. Now they want to control the narrative on Syria, and everybody knows that that video is about to roll out, So, with that, I hope this has been edifying, and Shalom, Bracha the Yahweh, Bracha the Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadosh, Brakathum, and hope this was edifying.
And so, without further ado, here's Esau's pathetic attempt to terrorize the Syrian people. This is yours truly, Magog, being the shield, the helmet unto the people of Syria, as Esau tries to go after them. Now the threat is not so much, doesn't really hold any water, for lack of a better term.
ليكوا فجر مبلى ليك
فجر فوق
شفتوا لا أصابوا وقعوا ليك الثاني ليكوا اثنين لينا
And here's even more terrorism going on by the United States and its allies. Saudi Arabia does another strike, killing another 16 people in Yemen this weekend.
The Saudi-led coalition launched airstrikes on a bus station on Wednesday as they try to gain control of key areas from Houthi rebels. RT's correspondent Dan Cohen has the story.
Just one day after U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo certified that Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates are taking steps to reduce civilian casualties, missiles struck a bus station near Hodeidah Airport. A warning to viewers, these images of the aftermath are graphic. Reports say at least 16 people are dead and 23 are injured, many of them civilians. It's just the latest attack in what the United Nations has called the worst humanitarian crisis in the world. This comes weeks after the coalition bombed 2 buses full of children in separate incidents, leading to renewed criticism of U.S. involvement in the war. On Tuesday, Pompeo certified to Congress that the governments of Saudi Arabia and the UAE, quote, are undertaking demonstrable actions to reduce the risk of harm to civilians and civilian infrastructure. Section 1290 of the 2019 National Defense Authorization Act stipulates that the U.S. cannot continue to refuel Saudi and Emirati warplanes without the Secretary of State's certification that they're taking steps to reduce the civilian toll. And the latest attack raises major questions about what measures Pompeo claims Saudi Arabia and the UAE are taking. Congressman Mark Pocan had harsh words for Pompeo, saying the Secretary of State made a mockery of the law by certifying that Saudi Arabia, which bombs and starves Yemeni civilians with U.S. participation, is actually reducing casualties, and said he, along with Congressmen Ro Khanna and Adam Smith, will force a House vote to end illegal U.S. involvement in the war. The attack comes as the Saudi-led coalition cut off a supply route between Yemen's capital and Hodeidah, both of which are under Houthi rebel control. As much as 80% of Yemen's food and medicine comes through Hodeidah port, and the coalition's assault has displaced more than 300,000 people since it began on June 13th. That has only exacerbated the crisis in Yemen. According to the International Committee of the Red Cross, 22 million Yemenis are food insecure, 1 million are homeless, and half of the country's medical facilities have closed down amid the worst cholera outbreak in human history. According to the charity Save the Children, an average of 140 children have been killed per day since Saudi Arabia and the UAE began bombing Yemen in 2015. Reporting in Washington, Dan Cohen, RT.
So here's another video, dealing with No Class Malone, as he pathetically can't even get into the scriptures, and when he does, he's a bigger fool.
Shalom. First and foremost, I want to say Kol Halayim Wahawad Lai Habashim Yahushai Bahashim Arakak. Double honors go to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations, peace and blessings be upon the Bayaf the Wadah, House of David, the Most High Power's election. Quick video last night, Thursday, September 13, 2018. Vocab Malone streamed live, and he went into James, the 5th chapter. Early that same day, in other words, early yesterday morning, all right, like around 8 a.m. or so, I saw in my newsfeed that he was going to be going live, and I did a video, asking Vocab Malone, what about James 1:1? Which James 1:1 clearly tells you who the epistle is addressed to. I get out of slavery last night, and I see that the elder apostle Tahar had gone into his chat and asked him to explain James 1:1. All right, and what did Vocab Malone do? He ran. He didn't address it. And he actually, as a matter of fact, he just like a typical hurt child. He put Elder Apostle Tahar in timeout because they can't answer. He can't answer it. All right. The epistle James, just like the rest of the scriptures, are addressed to a certain race of people, and that's what these Christians don't want to deal with. And Vocab Malone is no different. He doesn't have an answer. He just has his vain religion and his vain doctrine. All right. But anyway, I went and listened to a little bit of the video, and it's interesting because when someone seeks to break down a chapter in the Bible, normally they start in verse 1 and work their way through the chapter. Not Vocab Malone. All right, Vocab Malone trimmed the message last night. He didn't start in James 5:1. He started in James 5:13. My question is, why? You know? Why did you skip the first 6 verses, really, which are really crucial in understanding the whole chapter? And I went into these verses in my video yesterday morning, you know, because these verses, the reason he did it, all right, whether he realizes it or not, is because in his spirit he's condemned, because James, all right, who was an Israelite himself, the Lord's brother, all right, he had some very harsh words for a certain group of people in the earth, man. The rich men. All right. And the rich men of the earth he's speaking of in James 5:1 are Vocab Malone's cousins, man. All right. The Amalekites. All right. The elites of Esau. Okay. The Jewish international bankers. James is not showing much love toward these people, man. All right. James is not showing any love to this group of people. And that's why Vocab Malone didn't want to get into those verses, because then he'd have to explain who these rich men are. All right. And here's the thing. He knows damn good and well who they are. He knows who they are. So I'm going to start the video, just play a few seconds and show you how he goes into James the 5th chapter, but omits, the first 12 verses. All right. How convenient.
What? Know what I'm saying? What's up, Miss Hawley? How you doing? What's up, Wado Wells? Somebody put GMS Mercy upon the elect 144 Gabarba. You guys got awful names. Put him in timeout too, because he doesn't understand that he's got to stay on topic. So as long as these guys stay on topic, it's cool. Alright, so with that, guys, I'm actually going to read James 5, and we're going to get right into this. You're going to learn a lot today. You're going to be blessed, and I'm going to take your questions as well. Alright, James 5, starting in verse 13. Is anyone among you suffering? Let him pray. Is anyone cheerful? Let him...
Starting in verse 13. Huh? You left out some pretty key information, Vocab. That's okay. Here's what we'll do. I'll read it. All right. This is what Vocab Malone didn't do. All right. For his congregation of the dead last night. All right. James 5:1. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. All right. And again, the rich men are so-called Jewish international bankers, all right? Those who control and dictate policy throughout this earth, because pursuant to Job 9:24, the earth was given into their hand, all right? Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. You have heaped treasure together for the last days, and we're in the last days. All right? And these elites are stolen everything from Jacob. You know, all the gold, all the silver, all the precious metals and jewels in the earth. They've stolen them. All right? And it says they've heaped treasure together for the last days. All right? They're sitting on all this wealth. All right? That they've handed down to their posterity throughout the generations, man. And it's going to come back to haunt them. Okay? This is why Vocab Malone conveniently left out the first half of James chapter 5. He's not going to go into this. Because again, he can't. You know, for multiple reasons. Number one, the Rakar Kodash is not on him. And number two, if he did, he'd have to explain to his followers who these rich men are. He's not going to do that. Okay? It says, verse 4, behold the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields. Those are the Israelites, man. So-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans. And confusion of faces are the laborers, man. All right? These Amalekites have gotten rich off the backs of the Israelites, man. All right? These Jewish international bankers financed transatlantic slave trade, for example, and made their millions and billions and trillions of dollars, all right, off that free labor. It says, which is of you, kept back by fraud, crieth, and the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth, all right, the Lord of the armies, okay? Yahweh Shem Yahushua has heard the cries of his people, man. All right, verse 5. Ye have lived in pleasure on the earth and been wanton. You have nourished your hearts as in a day of slaughter. Yeah, man, these elites have lived deliciously, man. Have lived luxuriously. All right, have lived in a lewd and lascivious manner. All right, done whatever they wanted to, man. Okay? They filled up their bellies, man. All right, but now we're approaching the day of slaughter, man. All right, the day of evil. Because the Lord created these people for the day of evil, man. He created them so he could destroy them. All right, once again, truths that Vocab Malone is incapable of telling. All right, he can't tell this truth. Okay? Because the scripture says none of the wicked shall understand. He don't understand. He can't break these verses down. That's why he started in the 13th verse of the 5th chapter of the book of James, which is addressed to the Israelites who were scattered. Ye have condemned and killed the just, and he doth not resist you. All right, and again, the just are the Israelites, man. Okay? Who didn't resist their oppressors, man. All right? So these people are murderers, man. They're violent. And, yeah, these Amalekites are violent, man. Okay? Now, in the foreground, you know, you see them in suits and ties and speaking proper English and, you know, smiling and shaking hands. But behind all that, man, all right, when they practice their wickedness upon their beds, you know, these people are violent. They're violent, cold-blooded killers, man, murderers. And the Most High hates the hands that shed innocent blood. If you read Proverbs the 6th chapter, so the Lord hates these people, man, and so does James. So does James, Vocab Malone. James hated these people because the Lord hates them. They're violent. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get a scripture I was reading in Micah, which Micah the 6th chapter is ultimately talking about a controversy the Lord had with his people, all right? But it also can be applied in these last days to these people, all right? The Edomites, beginning with the Jewish international bankers on down. to the whole house of Esau, but starting at the top. All right, so let me get that in Micah, the 6th chapter. The Lord hates these violent men, man. All right, these rich men. Okay, this is Micah 6:10. Are there yet the treasures of wickedness in the house of the wicked, and scant measure that is abominable? Shall I count them pure with the wicked balances, and with the bag of deceitful weights? For the rich men thereof are full of violence. Verse 12, and the inhabitants thereof have spoken lies, and their tongue is deceitful in their mouth. Yeah, man, these people are violent and full of deceit, just like Vocab Malone. That's why he trimmed the message last night. That's why he didn't read James 5, 1 through 6. All right? Because it cuts this, nonsense that the Most High, does not discriminate or does not hate. All right? And all that, man. All that madness, which is what their Christian doctrine teaches. The Lord loves everybody. He's coming to save everybody. He's not discriminatory in his practice, and he's not a separatist, and everybody's the same, and it's all madness, man. James 5, 1 through 6 is a cut session. All right. Yeah, man. So these rich men, the reason they're going to howl is because of what's getting ready to happen to them. They're going to escape the nuclear judgment that's coming, only to find themselves in shackles. All right. He's not going to discuss this scripture either, but again, James is talking about the rich men of the earth. Well, the Bible has a lot to say about them. Revelation 6. And I'm going to start in 12. And I beheld when he had opened the 6th seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. And the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it was rolled together. Isaiah talked about this too. All right, seeing heaven, rolled up as a scroll. All right, describing the mushroom cloud that these ICBMs are going to make when they detonate. All right, it looks like a scroll being rolled up. All right. And every mountain and island were moved out of their places, and the kings of the earth, verse 15, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in the dens, in the rocks and the mountains. All right, they're going to go in these deep underground military bases, military bunkers, okay, these dumbs, and out in space, trying to escape this judgment. All right. Verse 16, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us, hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, from the face of the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? That's right. They're not going to be able to stand the wrath that's coming. Going back to James 5 and 1, that's why it says that they're going to go and, so like when we get back to James 5, that's why it says they're going to go and howl, okay, because miseries are coming upon them, man. All right. Very interesting that such key verses were skipped by Vocab Malone. All right. These verses are too hot for him to handle. Okay. Hey, you've been exposed on every side. All right. The truth is on you, man. The men of the Lord are on your ass. All right. And you're only going to be able to run, you're only going to be able to run for a little while longer, man. All right. You're only going to be able to run for a little while longer. Okay. I was watching the elder brother Malcolm's video yesterday. He was going in on the downfall of Edom. And he had a still shot of this just decrepit, awful looking Edomite woman who was clearly a victim of the opioid epidemic, the opioid curses, and it was like curtains, man. It's curtains for you, Vocab Malone, and curtains for Christianity, and curtains for all your followers, heathen and Israelite followers alike. All right, I hope you were edified by this lesson. That I want to say shalom.
And Moab is getting ready to counter the U.S. tariffs as this trade war continues. Now they will counter those tariffs.
China's foreign ministry says that the country will respond if the U.S. imposes new tariffs on Chinese goods. Foreign ministry spokesman Geng Shuang also said any talks with the U.S. must take place on equal footing. Reports say that U.S. President Donald Trump has new tariffs on $200 billion of imported Chinese goods this week. The expected announcement has already affected stock markets in Asia. China's main Shanghai Composite Index lost over 1 point. That is the lowest close in nearly 4 years. Markets in Hong Kong, South Korea, and Singapore also saw drops. Trade tensions have been high in the past months amid protectionist policies of the Trump administration. The policies have seen increased tariffs on imports to the U.S., prompting retaliation by targeted countries like China. Paul Rafon, Secretary General of the SIPI Foundation, joins us from Brussels. I think Trump just needs to get this out and then for China to retaliate and then to see after the smoke settles what's going to be left for both. Could it be looked at that way, or is that just too simplistic?
No, it is not simplistic at all. It is now a tit-for-tat type of dialogue, and the attempt from the US is that of rebalancing an unbalanced trade situation that has been created since the 90s, and they're desperately trying to regain the lost ground. Of course, I mean, nobody is really interested in a full-out trade war. So what is now being done is a test to see how the other side would react. And at one point there would be a settlement that would include not only trade but also monetary solutions. The entire system, born in 1945, is unbalanced at the moment and is not serving anymore the interests of the major players in the world.
Thank you very much for that. Paulo Rafonis, Secretary General of the SIPI Foundation from Brussels.
And this one's brought to you by Dabu 7. They ain't even fucking warning the people about these nuclear power plants that are under emergency shutdowns because of the hurricane.
This is Dabu 7. A heads up to a situation that's going on in North Carolina, and I talked about this weeks ago before the storm rolled into the area, the potential for these nuclear plants to be affected by the floodwater. Now, the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission has declared a state of emergency for both units at the Brunswick nuclear power facilities in North Carolina. They're saying that an unusual event occurred which is interfering with the ongoing hot shutdown of this nuclear plant. That's a process that takes weeks to complete. Now, they knew the storm system was coming in. We're going to have to evaluate this as the days go by. We're going to have to look and see exactly what steps were taken to make sure that this thing was shut down in the proper fashion and not last minute or anything else. They're also saying that because of this, it's resulted in on-site conditions sufficient to prohibit the plant staff from accessing the site via personal vehicles due to flooding of local roads because of the storm. To me, I would be dropping guys off by helicopter on the rooftop to make sure they get in there, they hit the right buttons, they shut the place down the right way. I don't give a damn about an excuse about roads being blocked if it comes down to that, personally. But we're just going to have to see where this goes. They're saying that, in other words, the Brunswick power plants are running blind. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what they are stating. Here is more information regarding the event. I'm going to leave links. I'm going to continue to update on this as things change, but this is one to pay attention to. Make sure you're subscribed and make sure you're following me on Twitter for the latest updates, and hit me up, Dabu7yahoo.com, if If you got anything you want me to report on. Peace.
Now looking at more devastation caused by Hurricane Florence, as these Edomites, man, they are trapped pretty much underwater, and this is a great thing to see. Just sitting back and eating popcorn, watching the show, as we know the Most High is visiting this place.
Well, South Carolina is about to feel the wrath of Hurricane Florence. Well, what has been downgraded, but the storm system Florence dumping torrential amounts of rain, it has cut off Wilmington. And although some areas where the storm has already passed is trying to recuperate and they're trying to get power back up in those areas, the flash flooding that's going on in these regions is something to pay attention to. Now, they're saying that this is shifting toward South Carolina in terms of all the heavy rain. Over 600 roads and interstates underwater. Entire towns swamped by the water. And as you can see here, this is what many of them are ending up looking like after all this rain moves into their region. Police in Cedar Creek going around helping residents evacuate the area as these flood levels rise in this region. This comes after the past 3 days of this storm system just kind of idling and setting very slowly, it is slow creep over the region. And really, that's what's causing a lot of the issues that we're seeing now. Flash flood warnings now being put up for many different areas, and I'll continue to tweet out the information pertaining to these different locations. But right now, flash flooding is among one of the chief concerns here, as people may not expect a wall of water to come rushing their way out of nowhere, even those that may be sitting somewhere where it's sunny skies. The pressure in the storm system can push the water down these canals and rivers a good length. I mean, they were talking before the storm surge potentially coming in 50 miles. So it's just something people are going to have to stay on top of right now until this thing gets out of the area. And then the recovery process can start in full scale. And no doubt, billions in damage done, and it's going to take some time to recover from this. But there's more images here and more information at this link that I'm going to leave below. Prayers going out to everyone out there that needs them. Stay tuned for more. This has been Dabu7.
And this here's a little video brought together for today's Hebrew word, shabar. Shabar. So we'll take a look at it.
Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, let me give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Mercha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone and One West, who pioneered this truth. And for those who gave the life for the truth, the dead in Yahweh Shai shall arise first. Shalom to the Bayeth Dawada, which is the house of David, the 144,000, the elect. And shalom to the Akim out there pushing this word with thought, truth, sincerity, and diligence, teaching the Lashi Praus of Israel, or the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, and the confusion of faces that it's got throughout the four corners of the earth. Alright, that may look like they're different nations, but the lineage goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, because this thing ain't about skin color. And it's Brother Kazal Riyah for the Men About 12, and basically it's another Hebrew word of today. And the Hebrew word of today is chabar, alright, which means companion. Alright, and that's something that's very important in this truth, man. This brotherhood, man. Alright, be there for one another, back each other up, back your leaders up. You know what I'm saying? Which is the spirit that's going around the men of valor right now. You know, backing your leaders up. Alright, and being a companion, man. Alright, being someone that's associated in this truth, man. Alright, and that's another thing too, man. You got brothers that, you know, they don't talk to people, you know what I mean? It's like they show up on Saturdays, but they go MIA the rest of the week, man. Alright, that's not companion like, man. You gotta be there for your brethren. Alright. All, you know what I'm saying, like throughout the week, man. You know, contact brother, man. Communicate with your brothers. See how brothers is holding it up, man. You know, that's what part of being a companion means, to see how the man next to you is doing, man. Alright, because this thing ain't just about yourself, man. Alright, yeah, the scriptures say work out your own salvation But it also, but Yahweh shall also commanded, if you shall forget these commandments, love thy brother, man, love thy neighbor, all right, as much as yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? And if you really love your brother as much as yourself, man, you'd be a companion, man. All right, you check on them, you'd you know what I'm saying? You put them before you know. And the word, and how you say it in the Paleo, oh, it's not how you say it, but how you write it out in the Paleo Hebrew is like this. All right, let me clear it out real quick. You know, Satan's messing with the focus, but just like that. All right, chabar. All right, I think that middle one, you know, it's a little bit better. My writing's a little sloppy sometimes, man. But you know, you brothers get the point, man. All right, now I'm gonna bring it out in the Strongs. We'll make a part 2, bring it out in the Strongs. All right, shalom.
And now you have a video here, I believe this is from Press TV, about how the people of Iraq are not very happy about the downing of the consulate building in Basra, as we know that Amalek is staging these events, and this is a Mossad operation, because we know that they're the real terrorists in Iraq and Syria, to terrorize the people of Iraq and Syria. This is another lesson I picked up from another brother. This one's just called Look Up in the Sky. So, we have hope and trust in the fact that, our faith is based upon the fact that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is supping with us and is revealing himself unto us and visiting this place.
Shalom, all praises due to Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, Waharakah Kodash, that's the name of the Most High, His Son, and the Holy Spirit. All right, double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom and salutation to all you brothers out here listening, all the sisters and all the young and old listening to the word of the Lord being brought out by the prophets, holy prophets. All right, today I'm going to go into a video of a typhoon going on in Typhoon Menghut. All right, just hit China, all right, somewhere around Hong Kong. And an interesting video is surfacing on the web right now. And I'm going to go ahead and play it. You tell me what you see. Yeah, so that was a small clip. You know, I'll try to play it again. Now, obviously, the lightning is striking, but lightning strikes objects, whatever's closest to it. All right, that's how lightning works. That's how electricity works. It strikes whatever's closest, whatever's easiest to get to, and something's in the sky right there being lit up. All right, they'll call us conspiracy theorists. They'll call us all these things, but we wasn't here taking this video. All right, and this actually happened. So for the people who don't know, all right, the chariots, the clouds of the Lord are actually what the world calls UFOs, unidentified flying objects. We see the Lord is going to make his second coming, his return back with these clouds. How do we know that? Through the scriptures. All right. So in the book of Revelation, as I have pulled up here, first chapter, verse 7, it says, King James Version says, behold, he cometh with clouds. Every eye shall see him. Now, if the Lord just comes with regular cumulonimbus clouds, so every 5 seconds somebody's going to look up and say, here he comes. These clouds are always in the sky, but these clouds in particular are vehicles in which the Lord is making his return, and the Lord's not coming back alone. All right, Yahweh isn't coming back alone. He's coming back with his host of holy angels. You can read that in Isaiah 66 and 15. Like a whirlwind, okay, to plead with them and plead with the people, meaning that he's going to be destroying, all right, the image and identity of who the world calls Jesus Christ. That character, that all loving, all merciful character, is not coming back to do what the world wants him to do. He's not coming back to talk to the UN like T'Challa. He's not coming back to pass out roses and flowers. All right. He's coming back to destroy and to fulfill his father's wishes, which is to set up a righteous empire and kingdom. And it says he's going to have many crowns on his head, meaning that he's going to take down empires. All right. Yahweh Shai is coming back to destroy. He says, he spoke on that during the time of the prophets, the time of the apostles. He said to his apostles, I come not to send peace, but for a sword. All right. He said, I come for a division, to set the father against the son, so forth and so on. So Yahweh's people, he also said, all right, out of his words was that he that doesn't bow, basically him, bring hither them that won't serve me. All right, so I may slay them. So he's a power that understands his role is to rule. All right, Yahweh Shai is going to be the top ruler in the kingdom of heaven for eternity. Okay, and this is the so-called black man according to this very same chapter. So it says, behold, he cometh with clouds. All right, so those unidentified flying objects as you see darting around the skies, becoming visible and invisible. If you ask these retired Air Force pilots, have you ever seen one? They'll say, yeah. All right, it's classified, but they'll say, all right. They'll say that's true. They'll say, I saw something. It says, every eye shall see him, because these chariots, the magnitude and size of these chariots are going to be so large that the scriptures in 2nd Ezra tells you, as if it's stretched from a mountain that you couldn't see where the beginning or the end of it was. So as these chariots, all right, as these vehicles that the Lord is going to deliver his elect upon come into this atmosphere of the earth, is going to crack the clouds, as you've seen in our Independence Day. It's going to crack the clouds. All right, it's going to look like a fire, okay, because the chariots light up, okay, and it's going to look almost like as if a large cloud or a large mountain has been carved out of nowhere. And every eye shall be able to see that. That means all humanity. Every person looking upon these chariots from whatever hemisphere of the world you're in, you'll be able to see exactly what the Lord, that now is the time. You're going to behold with your own eyes. Now is the time. And you're going to really, like the brother Captain Karab says, you're going to have a surreal moment where everything that, you know, all these lies, all these philosophies are going to vanish away right upon seeing these chariots. All your hopes, dreams, aspirations vanishing away right before your eyes, and your life is going to flash before your eyes. It says, and they also which pierced him, meaning those same Romans in the reincarnation are back again. See, that's how we know that the Roman Empire is America all over again, because those same men that pierced him have to be back here in the reincarnation. It says, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, amen. And to wail is to give out a weep, as it says on the up here, to mourn over him. All right, mourning, weeping. And the reason why they're mourning and weeping, all the nations, is not because they're happy to see him. It's because they're fearful and their hearts is about to melt. All right, and they're literally going to be burnt with fervent heat from that chariot, those chariots, because they deliver an impactful laser beam. So Now, also recently, in another video I've peeped is this. All right, now war games is going on in Russia. Russia self-propelled multiple rocket launch systems. You got some of the largest scale war games going on in Russia between Russia and China, who are going to be America's top enemies, who have always been America's top enemies. And what's going to happen is they're going to launch all of these rockets, okay, with nuclear warheads on them. They're going to be launched towards America, and then America's last trump in this final defeat, because this place is going out with a bang, okay, because of what they did to the Lord's children, his people. So here's a clip. So as you can see, there's no shortage of weapons in Russia at all, okay? They have enough to play with, and they got enough to shoot off. And what's going to happen is that fire is going to come to America. And this is the prophecy on that. Zechariah 14:12 says, and there's many, all right, about thermonuclear war, all right? But Zechariah 14:12 says, and this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord shall smite the people that fought against Jerusalem. These are the people that fought against our nation. Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. It's talking about specific people whom we believe we are. All right, if we match up all the curses in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, that matches identically and very on point with the people of so-called Negro, Latino, Native American descent. All right, we have to be those people who are still serving out captivity until they're waiting upon salvation through Yahweh Shai, through the Lord, in which Yahweh Shai, the Lord, is only going to save 1/3 the elect, known as the elect of our people. In the book of Revelation 7, it quotes 144,000 men, women, and children, and the rest of the elect, all right? And the rest of the multitude, which are the elect. Not every so-called Negro, Latino, Native American is going to make it. As you can see, they're wicked as hell. It says, their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. And there's only one thing that can allow your flesh to consume while you stand on your feet. We always use that image for the brothers that haven't seen it. Judgment Day, Terminator 2, is a part with Sarah Connor's dream. In Sarah Connor's dream, she believes that a nuclear missile detonates. And while she's holding on to a fence, all she has is a skeleton that's being blasted by this nuclear wind. And what's going to happen is that nuclear wind is going to take the flesh right off of your bones. It says, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. And this is called thermonuclear technology, and it actually exists, man. It's not no super future technology that doesn't exist. It's not talking about a ray gun. All right, it's not talking about a human dispenser evaporation gun. It's talking about an actual thermonuclear missiles, man. When they detonate and they're consuming fire, it says 10,000, hundreds of thousands of times hotter than the core of the sun. When they detonate, man. All right, very devastating. Okay, so let's get a few more scriptures and wrap it up. Revelation 20:6 says, blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection. And this is the day we coming upon, where we're going to have where there's a resurrection, meaning you're going to be brought back almost to life. Because what happens is when these cherries beam you up, your bodies stay here. The scriptures in 1 Corinthians 15 chapter says, in the twinkling of an eye, your bodies change. So you have spiritual bodies literally waiting for you in these chariots, all right? And what you would call extraterrestrial, celestial bodies, all right? These bodies, terrestrials, are are morbid, meaning they die. All right, they're full of sickness, they're full of germs, they're full of pollutions, toxins. So the Lord doesn't want you to inherit the kingdom of heaven with these bodies. It says, one such second death hath no power, but they shall be priests of the Most High, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. Now, the second death, all right, the first death was Noah. The second death is going to be these thermonuclear missiles, all right, which when the Lord destroyed all but 8 souls the first time, it's going to seem as if he destroyed all but 8 the second, but he's going to have his remnant and his elect, okay, who's going to be preserved. And also, he's not going to destroy everybody, because we know that strangers are going to be building up our walls, according to Isaiah 60 in the 60th chapter. In order for strangers to be building up our walls, we're going to have some slaves, man. All right, and it says we're going to rule with the Yahushua for 1,000 years. This is the day we fast approaching. This is the times that we are encouraged to look forward to and pray for. We are completely fine with the destruction of America, because it brings in the coming kingdom of the Lord, which is all powerful, which is eternal, and which is completely righteous. All right, there's a wickedness of this society that we can't stand more than anything. All right. A few more scriptures just to wrap it up. 2nd Ezra 15:1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy. And that's what we do. We speak of the things before, so you can see the bigger picture, so you can look ahead. One thing that man has that animal don't, that beasts of the field don't, is that we have ability to recall, and we also have the ability to project things that's happened in the past on the future. So when we talk about the first death of Noah and what caused those people who didn't believe, who didn't have faith, who didn't adhere to the prophecies, what caused them to perish, is just that. They was caught up in their world. There was unbelieving in the prophecy of the Lord. They thought that this wickedness would continue, as it tells you in Ecclesiastes 8 in chapter 11, or 11 and 8. I believe it's 8 and 11. Because sentence against an evil work has not been executed speedily, it is set in the heart of the people to do evil, to do wickedness. So you don't believe in prophecy, but yet and still, our job is to bring out the words of prophecy. It says, which I will put in our mouth, saith the Lord. These are not our own words, these are the words of the Heavenly Father, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. So believing on these words and having faith that the Lord is going to deliver his elect is all it takes. Okay, because many men will be saved, not because of how hard they was pushing his truth, but because of their faith. All right, and it says, fear not the imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. Because a lot of people do not believe in what we believe, and they're verbal about disproving our beliefs, because we proclaim everything publicly. All right, we make public proclamations of this truth and of our belief in it, and so that they make public proclamations of their disbelief. Oh, chariots, y'all believe? Oh, you think that just because a lightning bolt struck something in the sky, or it's just an orb, it's just a hot balloon? All right, and trying to disprove every chariot sighting, trying to disprove every single miraculous event that the scriptures talk about. They just don't believe, man. So you're not supposed to have really any worries or let that trouble you, because guess what, man? People will believe in things that actually didn't happen. They believe that terrorists from the middle of Saudi Arabia took down the Twin Towers. They believe that this place, America, fights wars for the better interests of the people. They believe that this is a democracy, that your voting actually matters. They believe that you can make it in this society no matter what color, sexual origin or whatnot. They believe all of these things. You know, they believe in completely corrupted values, man. They're moralist freaks out here, bro. But here, yet and still, we keep it with the scriptures, which they disbelieve because it condemns them. Most people's natural, they're automatically condemned, and they don't know how to humble down, and so their pride is going to be their fall. All right, and these prophecies go into the destruction of this society. It says, "Woe," verse 14, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh." What sword is that? These thermonuclear missiles. A sword is an instrument of destruction. The mightiest sword right now is this technology called intercontinental ballistic missiles. It says one people shall stand up to fight against another with swords in their hands. So remember, when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction comes. All right, so hey, we not sleep as if everybody else is asleep. Let them continue to binge watch on Netflix while we getting this truth, man. All right, let these people live their mundane lives. You know what I'm saying? Enjoying their vacation life, enjoying their steroid life. All right, enjoying the bills, paying all their bills life, where 80% of their checks go to their bills, and we'll do the same, but we'll look forward to a brighter day, which is the downfall of the society. And with that, let's say shalom.
And here's another lesson about how people, man, the slightest bitching of anything. And we have a couple camps in North and South Carolina. And do you think that we're scared? Do you think we're cowering? And I do lessons out here during the midst of car fire, and I was just a couple blocks from car fire. But I'm still going out there and teaching, man. So, no, man. The Most High is going to protect his people. He protected me during the car fire. So you don't think he's not going to protect the camps in North and South Carolina, man? We the elect, man, we have hope. The rest of the world, they have no hope. They're going to cry out to Corpus Christus, and nothing's going to become of it.
All right, first and foremost, I want to give all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shah, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to our elders and apostles, the great millstone rule well. Peace, love, salutations, and blessings to the elect. All right. This is the brother Yeshaya, part of the Men of Valor, South Carolina camp. I'm going to go into a lesson basically about people having little faith. All right. There's a hurricane that's coming. And, me and two other brothers, we're part of Men of Valor, South Carolina camp. We camp in Columbia, South Carolina. And the storm is basically in direct line to hit South Carolina. And there's a lot of people that, are losing their wits, okay, because they're so scared that this storm is going to come and not only take their life, but take their possessions and everything like that. And they're buying all the water and all the bread out of the stores, all because they don't have any faith, man. Okay, and I'm gonna get right into the scriptures because even Yahweh Shai, as he said, ye of little faith, man. All right. Mark 4:39. This is a perfect scripture because he rebuked the wind and rebuked the storms, and he can do that, to your house around you. Okay. Mark 4:37. And there arose a great storm of wind, and the waves beat into the ship, so that it was now full. And he was in the hinder part of the ship, asleep on a pillow. And they awake him and said to him, Master, carest not thou that we perish? All right, so they didn't have any faith in Yahweh. So they had that man right there on the boat with them. Okay, but they were so scared that they were going to die. All right, and he arose and rebuked the wind and said unto the sea, Peace be still. And the wind ceased, and there was a great calm. And he said unto them, Why are ye so fearful? How is it that ye have no faith? And they feared exceedingly, said one to the other, What manner of man is this, that even the wind and the sea obey him? That's right. So the wind and the sea obeys Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. All right. So you have nothing to worry about. But these people don't have Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. They have Jesus. They have God. They have all these other deities that can't do anything for them. So that's why they're fearful. That's why they're going into these grocery stores, buying all of the bread and water out of the grocery stores, man. Okay, and it's sad, man. These people have no faith, man. All right, Matthew 8:26. And it reads, And he said unto them, Why are ye so fearful, O ye of little faith? Then he, this is the same one, but yeah, and he, I guess, the scripture, the Spirit wanted me to, harken back on to it, man. It says, then he arose and rebuked the winds of the sea, and there was a great calm. Okay, so, Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai can rebuke the sea, he can rebuke anything, he can do anything, man. Okay, but there's only a certain amount of people that's gonna, have faith, man, because everyone is not, blessed with the gift of faith, man. Okay. This is 2 Timothy chapter 1 verse 7. Yeah. For the Most High have not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and a sound mind. Okay, so this is the letter to the elect. All right, the Most High haven't given the elect spirit of fear, but of that of a sound mind. Okay, so the elect is not going to be going into the grocery stores buying up all this bread and water for fear of their lives because of some damn bitch ass storm, man. Alright, the elect is gonna believe in Yahweh Shai, and this is, man, I've just seen this too many times before. This has happened so many times. Alright, a snowstorm is coming. Oh, hurricane, so and so, tornado, whatever. People go and spend all their money on food, water, and everything like that, and beefing up their insurance, only for the storm to totally pass by. Okay, and they just look stupid and fooled in the face, man. They look stupid. Alright, because they have no faith. But as I'm growing in this walk, I know that faith is a gift given unto certain people. Alright, only the elect is gonna have faith, man. Alright, faith is not for everyone. Ephesians 2:8. For by grace are ye saved through faith, and that not of yourselves. It is the gift of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua. So, hey, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua gives every man their measure of faith, man. Okay? And it's a gift. Not everyone is blessed with this gift, man. And I thank the Lord that, I say this humbly, I'm blessed with that gift, because I'm not scared of no storm, man. I'm not going to buy nothing to prepare for no storm. I have my book. Alright, I have my wits about me, where the Lord still has the Rakakwadash, the Holy Spirit about me. Man, hey, and if it's time for me to die, then it's time for me to go. Alright, and I'll be with Yahweh Shai. Okay, I mean, it's not nothing. There's nothing really like difficult, man. All right, about this. Isaiah 54:17. No weapon that is formed. Oh, and you so-called Christians, y'all love to bring up this scripture in church, but y'all bring up scriptures, but y'all don't really believe in them, man. It just sounds good on your palate, on your tongue, man. It just sounds good. Alright, like the Lord said, hey, these people honor me with their mouths, but not with their hearts, man. Alright, no weapon that is formed against me shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their righteousness is with me, saith the Lord. That's right, no weapon formed against thee shall prosper, man. And how much more a punk ass storm? Alright, hey, we're coming upon a time where Esau is about to bring pure hell upon you blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. Alright, and y'all want and y'all are worried about a damn storm, some water, and some wind. Alright, and look, here's another church scripture that y'all love to bring up, that y'all got tatted on y'all body, but y'all don't know what it means, or neither do you follow it. Psalms 23:4. Yea, though I walk through the valley of shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Okay, now these people out here buying all this food and water out of the grocery stores, they have no faith, man. They're doing that because they're scared that either the grid is going to shut down, they're going to be stranded. What is a couple bottles of water and bread going to do for a storm, man? What, you think you're going to be trapped in your house and you ain't going to be able to eat? Oh, what was you? Man, and that is totally going off, man. It really vexes my soul to see these people with no faith, man. Hey, but it ain't for them. So at the end of the day, it's like faith is a gift, man, and it's not given to everyone. That's what makes it precious. All right. Matthew 17:28. I don't want to make this too long. Just straight to the point. Not 17:28. 7:28. Tripping. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse. Damn, what was I trying to find? Man, Salakia. I don't. I think it's Matthew 17. Yeah, about the faith of a mustard seed. Let's see how much you're gonna type it in. Cause yeah, the Lord said if you had the faith of a mustard seed, and the mustard seed is the smallest of Smallest of all the seeds, man. Okay. Let's see. Yes, 17 and 20. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 17, verse 20. Yahushua said unto them, because of your unbelief. For verily I say unto you, if you have a faith of a grain of mustard seed, you shall say to this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove it, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. So if you got the faith, the faith of one of the smallest seeds, okay, that the Lord created, all right, you'll be able to move a mountain. Okay. So, man, y'all people out here, y'all are going off, y'all are bugging out, man. Y'all don't understand that Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is in control of everything. Alright? Y'all still believe that Satan operates on his own. And that's what y'all scared of. Y'all, the thing is, your conscious is plaguing you, man. Alright? Because you're realizing that, inwardly, you're going off, you're eating shrimp, crab, lobster, you're getting tape-ups, you're not following the law, statutes, and commandments. So subconsciously, you're spiritually hurting, man, and you're spiritually fearful. All right, because you know that you're not doing what you need to be doing, man. All right, the men of the Lord are trying, to the best of their ability to follow the law, statutes, and commandments. All right, trying the best of their ability to follow the law, statutes, and commandments, and then with that comes a little comfort. You still fear the Lord, but at the same time, we don't fear these minor calamities that that befall the wicked, man. Okay, and that's faith in the Most High. Salakia. It's Deuteronomy 32 and 39. See, now that I, even I, am He, and there is no power with me, I kill and make alive, I wound and heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. So, hey, if you really believe in who you really call God, whose name is Yahweh, and His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, you know that He's in control of everything. And if you're doing what you're doing, if you're trying your damnedest, excuse my French, if you're trying with the best of your ability to please Him, okay, then hey, you don't have anything to worry about. But you people are convicted in your souls, man, and that's why y'all are in fears of your lives, man. Y'all think this is the apocalypse because a damn hurricane is coming. Alright, that's lack of faith, and that's fear. Okay? And like the scriptures say, the Lord didn't give us a spirit of fear but of sound mind, but this is only talking about the elect. So only the elect don't have the faith. Alright? Y'all swear y'all have faith, but hey, y'all in there in the grocery stores buying up all the bread and the non-perishable canned goods and the water for some rain, man. Alright, O ye of little faith. I want to give all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Kakwadash. Double honors to our elders and apostles at Great Millstone who rule well through the scriptures. Peace, love, salutations, and blessings to the elect who have faith in the Most High and don't fear minor calamities, like hurricanes and everything like that, man. Alright? Peace to the elect. Shalom.
And this is another brother who put together a couple of videos. Had to split in two parts, but all the fact that in more and more movies, though Esau is revealing the RFID technology. It's in the Divergent movies. It's in the latest Tom Cruise Mission Impossible movie. The newer RoboCop movie was all about RFID, especially that movie Upgrade this year that came out. Yeah, man, Esau's putting it in the movies subliminally to get people to accept that RFID upgrade. But you take that upgrade, man, you're going to be destroyed by the Most High.
Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, and double honors to the elders of Great Millstone. Alright, GMS, the elders of GMS, salutations and shalom to the Akim out there. The brothers pushing this truth and sincerity on the highways and the byways. And, this is about to be a quick lesson on the RFID chip. You know what I'm saying? Because that prophecy is here, but it hasn't come to pass as far as it being mandatory, as far as us being able to buy or sell with it. You know what I'm saying? But it is here, and it is being pushed, and it is being flashed in front of the people's eyes unknowingly, you know, for them anyway, unknowingly. But you know, I'm gonna get straight into it. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. All right, I'm gonna read it again. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, which he can't get an advantage of us because Yahweh Shem Yahushai, you know, he put the spirit on the men in this truth and us to look, to see and look past all the bullshit and see shit for what it really is and see the truth. Now I'm saying, because things can't be hid from us, because the Heavenly Father has put the spirit on us to see and understand. For we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. We are not ignorant of his devices. We are not ignorant what Esau is planning on doing. We are not ignorant on what Esau wants to do. We are not ignorant that martial law is on the way. We are not ignorant that World War III is being brewed up and can happen any day now, damn near. We are not ignorant that Esau wants to microchip the masses of the people. We are not ignorant that Esau wants a one world currency. We are not ignorant that the RFID chip is the mark of the beast. And that's the main thing I wanted to get into, because I can't show it, but I watched the bootleg movie yesterday, the new Mission Impossible movie. The new Mission Impossible movie with Tom Cruise has the RFID chip in the movie and throughout the movie. Okay, I repeat, the new Mission Impossible movie has the RFID chip in the movie, the mark of the beast. Now, they don't have it on a mass scale in the movie, but they show examples on how having the RFID chip is how they were tracking certain individuals within the movie. You know, I don't want to spoil the movie, but they show how the RFID chip could track you anywhere you are. Now I'm saying, anywhere you are, you could be found. It's just like how motherfuckers could find us with our cell phones now. That RFID chip, that shit get up in your skin. That they implant that motherfucker up in you. They know exactly where you are at all times. Do you hear me? That RFID chip can track you and know where you are at all times. And we do know there is a kill switch within the RFID chip also, to where by the press of a button they can release some serious ass dangerous toxic inside of your bloodstream, and it can kill you probably instantly, or it may take a little bit of time. But either way it goes, there is a kill switch in these RFID chips. There are tracking devices. They are radio frequency identification devices, and in the near future it will be mandatory, and you will not be able to buy or sell unless you have an RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast that the King James Version Bible speaks of. And I only could say so much on it, because Esau's a motherfucking devil. Know what I mean? Fucking Esau's a devil. This is Revelations chapter 13, verse 15. And he had the power to give life unto the image of the beast. And what the beast is NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, which consists of Germany, Belgium. Okay, you name it. You get it. It's the beast, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Read it again. Revelations 13 and 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And if you're not trying to get with this new world war order, if you're not trying to get with this program, if you're not trying to get this RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast, you can and will be killed, because you're not going with the flow. You're going against the grain, and you're going against the system, which I myself, Lord's willing, will continue to go against the system, because everything got to be Lord's willing at the end of the day. Because I could scream all day. I got faith. I got hope. I ain't gonna do this. But the Lord directeth man's steps. Everything is Lord's willing at the end of the day. And Lord's willing, I continue to have the faith, hope, and I will have the strength in that day of that crazy ass shit, to turn that shit down until you and to continue to walk in the faith and hope and knowledge and wisdom of Yahweh Shem Shai to the very end and beyond that. Nah, man, because all praise and glory to Yahweh Shem Shai at the end of the day. And he causeth all, both small and great. All right. It says, and he causeth all, both small and great. It don't matter if you're the richest motherfucker on the planet or the poorest motherfucker on the planet. You go get that RFID chip. All right, that's what it is. They go force it on you. It's like they go force that RFID chip on you is what I mean. At the end of the day, rather you rich or rather you poor. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor. Okay, rich and poor. You go receive that. You go have to get that RFID chip, whether you rich or poor. Free and bond, rather you free, or rather you in the motherfucking upstate penitentiary or. All right, man, my bad. My motherfucking phone had fucked up for whatever reasons, but I was getting into how the RFID chip is in the new Mission Impossible movie and how we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. All right. We are not ignorant of Satan devices because the average Joe would not have caught the RFID chip being in that new Mission Impossible movie. He wouldn't have caught it. He would have not realized their propaganda and what they're trying to do. But the men in this truth be reading between the lines, and we see all that bullshit because it's not nothing is hid to the children, the elect men of the children of Israel, Lord's will of the elect, but nothing is hid from the men in this truth, and it is shown unto us. But I'm gonna get back into Revelation chapter 13, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor. Okay, small and great, you gonna have to receive that chip. Rich or poor, you gonna have to receive that chip. That's the bottom line. That's the part of the New World Order, and that's the part of the agenda, and that's what they're going to push and force on the masses of the people. Free and bond. Rather you free, walking around, or rather you lock the fuck up in a jail cell somewhere. You will have to receive that mark of the beast. You got to receive that RFID chip. To receive a mark in their right hand or on their foreheads. You know, it really doesn't matter where they put the chip at. They could put it in your hand, it could be in your leg, your neck, your head. It don't matter. It's still up in you. You still receive the mark of the beast, and you still will be destroyed. And that no man might buy or sell. Okay, that no man might buy or sell. So if you don't have that RFID chip in the near future, you will not be able to buy merchandise or whatever the fuck you want to buy, and you will not be able to sell merchandise or sell whatever the hell you got, because everything is going to be on that kind of currency. On the RFID chip is going to be that currency. Everything is going to be electronic, which is why they're making everybody get used to having to swipe a card, or with the biometric system in other countries, fingerprints, hair analysis, eye scans, etc. You name it. Know what I'm saying? Credit cards, debit cards, motherfucking food stamp cards. They're already prepping you for everything to be electronic. And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the beast, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding. And who are the men with understanding? The men in this truth. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. It is the number of the man, which shows you that the devil, the deceiver, is a man. And it says, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. 666. Know what I mean? Now I'm gonna jump to the consequences of receiving the RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast. This is the consequence. This is Revelation chapter 14, verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, if any image worship the beast or his mark, or receive that RFID chip in his hand or in his forehead, Okay, I'm going to read it again. If any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh. If you receive that RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast, you are going to receive the wrath of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and indignation is righteous anger. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone. You receive that RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast, you will be tormented with fire and brimstone, and that fire and brimstone is going to come from that nuclear destruction, from those missiles, from the ICBMs, the intercontinental ballistic missiles, which are nuclear missiles, which will have fire and brimstone and will destroy your ass and burn you, and you will be tormented by it. In the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb, in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of Yahweh Shai. So with that, I want to give all praises, call halal, all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, and double honors to the elders of Great Millstone. And shalom out there to the Akim, pushing this truth and sincerity on the highways and the byways. That new Mission Impossible, showing motherfuckers the RFID chip. These new shows and shit coming out on Netflix and on TV showing the RFID chip. The RFID chip and Lost in the RFID chip is shown in that new Netflix series Lost in Space. The RFID chip is shown in that new movie Mission Impossible. And it's also shown in many other things, And we not ignorant of Satan devices because we see through all that bullshit. So with that, man, shalom.
And more news out of North Carolina. This is a short little clip about just people all in panic because the hurricane has come through. Oh, and I'll say this. Here's something that's funny. A pay-per-view Hell in a Cell came out yesterday, if you watch wrestling or if you don't. But wrestling, WWE, makes no mention whatsoever about the car fire, which lasted for 2 or 3 weeks. But they will mention something about this hurricane. Well, that's probably because they made a lot more money. WWE is like this, man. It's the circus that comes to town. Once they made enough money from you, you're through. They're going to the next town to make even more money, especially all the stunts that they pull and all that. Another wrestler, the shit really went bad yesterday. Jeff Hardy, man, he was trying to do a stunt, from the Hell in a Cell cage. His hands gave out, and he fell down. Randy Orton moves out of the way, and he crashes. He plunges right into the table. Kind of reminds me of the stunt that Owen Hart done, where he plunged to his death. They're not even saying how bad it is, except that he has internal bleeding and just, abdominal pain. That's all that they're saying about it. I mean, it's a bad omen altogether, man. Esau's kingdom is crumbling down.
Meanwhile, over in the United States, officials in North Carolina are warning that the worst from Storm Florence is far from over. It has already drenched the state with catastrophic flooding, cutting off the city of Wilmington. Tens of thousands of homes have been damaged or destroyed, and at least 15 people are now said to have died. Despite being weakened to a tropical depression by Sunday, Florence was forecast to drop another 13 to 25 centimeters of rain. Fresh evacuations were ordered further inland as rivers crested and spilled out of their banks. Florence is slowly moving west, but is expected to turn north towards Ohio over the next day or two.
And this here's the Syria news report from South Front. Pretty much what's going on there is that, and they've taken down the Syrian government channels, as I was saying earlier, and so now they're feeding you the narrative that all these people in the Idlib province are victims, that Bashar al-Assad is just murdering people, trying to control the narrative, with the Syrian government channels down, to try to pull the wool over everybody's eyes to make us believe that. So Al-Qaeda is, acting, and putting these videos up, because now you got the Free Syrian Army, which is Al-Qaeda, putting their news up to make you believe, though, that, Bashar al-Assad is this murderer and he's just coming in and just killing civilians. Not true at all. When in fact, these terrorist-held areas, they're holding the people hostage so they can't escape so the Syrian Arab army can come in. That's what's really going on.
On September 14, thousands of people participated in Turkish-backed demonstrations across the militant-held part of the province of Idlib, Latakia, and Aleppo in northwestern Syria to protest against the potential fully-fledged offensive by the Syrian Arab Army SAA and its allies, as well as to show its support to the Turkish policy in the region. These events, which took place in more than 24 towns and villages, were widely covered by the mainstream media as a showcase of the democracy and the resistance to the bloody Assad dictatorship. However, they accidentally forgot to mention that the largest demonstrations took place under flags of Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, formerly Jabhat al-Nusra, the Syrian branch of Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda and other similar radical groups included chanting of sectarian slogans and mostly consisted of members of Idlib militant groups and persons linked to them. Multiple masked and armed militants were presented. The demonstrations in Idlib city de facto turned into the March of Hayat Tahrir al-Sham. Demonstrators used various banners slamming the Syrian-Iranian-Russian alliance and even threatening Russia with terrorist attacks. For example, in Kafir jails, the democratic activists raised a large banner with Mevlut Mert Atinshas, a Turkish terrorist who killed Russia's ambassador to Turkey, Andrei Karlov, in 2016. With such people we will win. The Turks are our brothers, the banner text said. It is interesting to note that a day ahead of the demonstrations on September 13, Hudhaifa Azzam, a son of Al-Qaeda co-founder Abdullah Azzam, called on members of militant groups to avoid using radical flags because the international media may mention them in its coverage. On September 15, the Turkish Armed Forces TAF deployed 6 battle tanks, 10 armored vehicles, and a command vehicle at its observation posts in Shir Magar and Eshtabrak in the Idlib de-escalation zone. Previously, the TAF deployed battle tanks at its observation post in Murag. Deployments of the TAF military equipment, the demonstrations, the angled coverage of the situation in the mainstream media, and multiple claims by the US and its allies that they will attack Syria if some chemical weapons incident is reported, are a part of the ongoing campaign aimed at preventing the SAA and its allies from delivering a final blow to the terrorists hiding in Idlib. In this very situation, Turkey and the US-led blog shared the goal to rescue Hayat Tahrir al-Sham and similar groups in order to keep alive the militarized opposition to the Damascus government in northwestern Syria. On September 16, a spokesman for the Kurdish People's Protection Units YPG officially announced that the YPG will not participate in the expected SAA operation in Idlib province. He added that the Kurdish group will continue carrying out attacks on Turkey-led forces in Afrin. Reports about the possible YPG participate in Idlib advance appeared earlier this year amid some rapprochement between the Kurdish political leadership and Damascus, caused by a series of the YPG setbacks in a standoff against Turkey-led forces, and repeated statements by the US President Donald Trump that US forces will be withdrawn from Syria. Now, when it became clear that Trump's statements are just statements, the YPG once again toughened its stance towards the Syrian government, putting itself in a self-proclaimed vassal of the US in Syria. On the other hand, Washington avoids declaring its open support to the YPG in the region in order to avoid further diplomatic escalation with Turkey. The US-led coalition prefers to use the brand of the Syrian Democratic Forces SDF, an alleged alliance of various opposition groups, in fact dominated YPG, in reports on its ground operations in Syria. Currently, the SDF is working to eliminate the ISIS-held pocket of Hajin on the eastern bank of the Euphrates. SDF units have captured a number of positions there, but a main part of the area remains in the hands of ISIS. On September 16, fierce clashes appeared between the SAA and ISIS in the Deir Zur Homs Desert, with the terrorist group attacking government positions in several points. Earlier, some pro-government sources claimed that the desert has been fully secured. These reports are untrue.
And just like last year was the year of death, diligence, and destruction, well, has everything to do with endurance. So we have to endure all these afflictions till the very end. So there's another lesson put together by a brother. So with that, I'm going to end this on scriptures. Until next time, I hope this has been edifying. Shalom, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, Barakatham.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, as always, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. I want to say double honor to the apostles and to the elders of Great Millstone that rule well. And I want to give a sincere shalom to the house of David, the elect. I'm the brother Zion, and I want to go into a brief lesson, all right, on faith, okay? And I'm going to entitle this, We Through Faith. And that's actually a part or a sentence, a part of a scripture which is written in the book of Romans 15:4. All right. So I'm just going to entitle it We Through Faith. And faith is something you have to be blessed with. Faith is something that the Most High has to give you. Okay. Everybody's not going to have faith. All right. Everybody's not going to have that gift. Faith is a gift. Okay. It's something, it's an attribute that you have to possess in this truth, man. And something we're gonna need in these hard times that's coming. The hard times that's coming to the four corners of the land. As a matter of fact, let's get Daniel. This is Daniel 12:1. It says, And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation. Even to that time, even to that same time, and at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. So the scriptures say that there's going to be a time of trouble, man, such as never was since there was a nation. So this time that's coming, all right, there's going to be great tribulation. Okay, there's going to be weeping and gnashing of teeth. There's going to be great death. Because what did the Lord say? He said he's going to bring the sword, famine, death, and destruction. All right, so faith is something that we really, really, really have to you really, really, really have to have it, man. And if you don't have it, then you're not gonna last, man. If you don't have it in that day when Daniel's 12 is coming into fruition, then basically you can kiss yourself goodbye. Because what do the scriptures say? It's a lakia for ranting, but I have to say it. What do the scriptures say? All the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. So if you're an unfaithful person, then you're gonna die, man. All right. This is Romans 15:4. It says, For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through faith, that we through patience and comfort might have. Let me read that again. Romans 15:4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. Okay. So as a matter of fact, I might entitle this video We Through Patience. Okay. Or I might just leave it at We Through Faith. That we through faith. All right. So everything that was written in this book that was written aforetime was written for our learning. And you actually have to go into the Old Testament and read those stories of great faith, man. Men that were of great faith, which we'll read in Hebrews 11. Okay, but those men showed great faith, and that was written for us in these times to understand, man. You know, it's like a lesson that we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope. Okay, because the comforter is these scriptures, man. This is what comforts us. This is what's gonna get us through hard times, man. This wisdom and this knowledge. Isaiah, we all know this scripture, 33:6. You know, even though when we do these lessons, we do go through some of the same scriptures, but I was just watching one of the videos, one of the Elder Apostle Gabar's videos, and he mentioned that repetition is basically the key to a skill set, and that might be a lesson in itself, man. Repetition is the key to skill set. All right, so these scriptures that we're reading this is repetition. This is why we're so skilled at breaking down the scriptures, man, because we learned in repetition. Also, all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. But this is Isaiah 33:6. It says, "And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure." So wisdom and knowledge is going to be the stability of our times, also mixed with faith. Okay? No matter what, man, like I said, you have to be rooted, and it has to be mixed with faith, man. Yahweh Shai spoke about that grain of a mustard seed, man. Let's get that in Hebrews real quick. This is Hebrews 11:1. "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For by it the elders have obtained a good report. Through faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of Yahweh." Okay, so that the things which are seen were not made of things which do appear. By faith Abel offered up unto Yahweh a more excellent sacrifice than Cain. So that was basically when Abel offered up his sacrifice to the Most High. That was through faith. That's powerful, man. See, Cain wasn't a man of faith. All right, that's why that same spirit came back in Esau, and Esau is not a man of faith. It says, "By faith Abel offered up unto Yahweh a more excellent sacrifice than Cain, by which he obtained witnesses that he was righteous, Yahweh testifying of his gifts, and by it he being dead yet speaketh. By faith Enoch was translated that he should not see death, and was not found, because Yahweh had translated him. For before his translation he had the testimony that he pleased the Most High." So when Enoch was translated, that was through faith. All right. By faith, Salakia. "But without faith it is impossible to please him." So if you don't have faith, you can't please the Most High, man. There's no way you can do it. It says, "For he that cometh to Yahweh must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. By faith Noah, being warned of Yahweh of the things not seen as yet, moved with fear." And that's the same thing we're doing on the highways and the byways, man. We're moving with fear. Okay? Through faith, we're moving with fear, man. See, it says, "By faith Noah, being warned of Yahweh of the things not seen as yet," and that was the flood. See, Noah didn't physically see the flood coming, but he still moved with fear, because he believed what the Most High said, what was going to take place. So he began to move with fear. Just like we tell you that this place is going to be destroyed with thermonuclear missiles, and certain parts in the four corners of the earth is going to be destroyed. So we go out there, we build that spiritual ark, and we teach the words of the Most High. All right. It says, "Prepared an ark," and the ark we're building now is spiritual, to the saving of his house. And if we keep teaching his word, the Lord will deliver us in our household, man. By which he condemned the world. So what's the problem with the prophets now condemning the world, man? You wicked ass people out there. We're condemning you. We're supposed to condemn you. Noah condemned you, man. Noah condemned you people. And back then the elect was only 8. All right. "And became the heir of righteousness, which is by faith. By faith Abraham, when he was called to go out into a place which he should not receive for an inheritance, obeyed, and he went out, not knowing whither he went. Right, walk by faith, not by sight. Roughly paraphrasing. By faith he sojourned in the land of promise as a strange country, dwelling in the tabernacles with Isaac and Jacob, the heirs of him of the same promise. All right, I'm gonna skip to verse 13. All these, Salakia, these all died in faith, not having received the promises, but having seen them afar off. But guess what? All these men are back in the reincarnation. All right, they're all of the elect. It says, and were persuaded of them and embraced them and confessed that they were the strangers and pilgrims on the earth. And what do the scriptures say? Be ye pilgrims upon the earth, man. All right. So like it says, man, all these died in faith. So faith is a main attribute that you have to have, man. All right. Faith is important. It's very, very important, man. We're going to end it with Matthew 17. Salakia. This is Matthew 17 and we'll start at 17. Then Yahushua answered and said, O faithless and perverse generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Bring him hither to me. And Yahushua rebuked the devil, and he departed out of him, and the child was cured from that very hour. Then came the disciples to Yahushua apart and said, why could not we cast him out? And Yahushua said unto them, because of your unbelief. For verily I say unto you, if ye have faith as a grain of a mustard seed, ye shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. That's powerful, man. All praise, honor, and glory is due to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and a sincere shalom to the house of David, the elect. To the next lesson, I say shalom.